to Shop Talk with Carly. Today I'm going to be putting some reed valves in the lovely Sandy Moo here. I'm going to try doing it without removing the fuel tank first. I've heard it's possible, but I've also heard it's not possible. So make sure to let you know which method works. Alright, let's dig in. To get the fuel tank off, we need to remove this. So make sure you unplug everything underneath. Screws. Got to take this cap off, this ring. The seat comes off, and then unplug everything out of the fuel tank on the other side. I find this ring can be pretty stubborn, especially near the top. So cover your fuel tank and spray a little mover type lubrication on there. So we also have to get into these bolts here. Now, I'm gonna just take these right off. Pro tip. Under here, there's this spacer, and I've dropped that before, and it goes right into the very bottom of the engine. So put a rag down underneath to catch that when you pull that bolt out, so you don't lose it and then have to go on a fishing mission, because you're going to end up putting the sled right on its nose to try to get it to come out the front. You can't go too far before you unplug everything, but bringing it back gives you a little more room. You don't want to do this while the exhaust is hot or anything. If you leak, it'll leak right onto your exhaust, and that, of course, is a recipe for disaster. Okay, so once we got that out, we got a bit more room. So we still got to get this off and another pressure fuel fitting. This is usually a permanent clamp like this, but I've had to change my fuel pump and I don't have the tool to put a clamp like that on. So I put a hose clamp, and it seems to be working. Ran all season like that. Much easier without the tank, I'll say that. So, these have a coolant line running to them somewhere. Yeah. More flatheads, of course, in terrible angles. Oh, there we go. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Got some nasty corrosion in that. I can't honestly tell you what that's from other than residual moisture, I guess. Definitely going to be cleaning that up. I'm going to disconnect the sensor over here, and the throttle cable will give me a little more room to get these out of the way, to get these boots out of the way. And once these boots are gone, that's where the reeds are. And that, my friends, is the inside. That's the piston. There's the intake channels around it. Make sure you block your intakes and stuff when you're not working near there. Keep critters, junk, all that extra crap out of there. Hit a bit of a wall here. There's a 6-bolt on that second boot, and I cannot get it out. The struggle is real. I will come back when I have figured out a system for that. I really don't want to pull the secondary. That's not easy. Okay, so I got that struggle. You're gonna need a special tool. There's no way around it. You're not getting a wrench in, you're not getting a socket in. So unless you want to pull the entire secondary, get yourself a crappy little 8mm like this, heat it, bend it, and get the smallest one you can, because you're basically going like this over and over, moving it less than a quarter turn at a time. It's a struggle, it's frustrating, but sacrifice the wrench and it'll get done. With all this taken apart, you can see how different these are, both in shape, everything, what they're made of, the extra cages. These open some ridiculous amounts per second, to the point that they're basically just like floating. These apparently travel half as far to let in just as much air as those do. So what that translates to is more air. If it doesn't have to move as far to get the air in, oh, brilliant. Now, if you've got a full exhaust system, breeds work hand in hand with that. They're letting in more air. So the better you can breathe, get air in and get air out, the more power you can make. Everything is cleaned up, so make sure V-force obviously at the top, and both boots go in the same way, so they have the sweep on the left and they kind of arch up. Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. So right now I have that tricky bolt jammed against the E-module part of the frame. I got it so close with the screwdrivers, but I think a quick little pop will get it in there. Ah! Whew! That's a big win, because I ain't pulling the secondary. I ain't doing it. No, that bolt cannot fall out. It literally, I mean, I talked about how difficult it was to get out and how difficult it was to get in. So I'm gonna start some other bolts to get everything seating nice and flat and come back to that. Because if we get the other 4 or 5 in, then that one has to be lined up properly. Find a little sticky WD around the very edges of the boot. It'll help. Yeah. I couldn't really take a video of that because I needed both my hands and it's a small space. Take the clip out. Push that all the way in. And reinstall the clip. Two hands is easier, I tell you. Boom. Give it a pull, make sure. Alright, I'm going to stop the video here because I got a lot more to do and it's just easier if all my panels aren't back on. But if this was all you were doing today, make sure when you put this top panel back on, you plug in everything that needs to be plugged in. There should be at least 2 plugs in there. Throw your seat back on, throw all your panels, and you're good to go. Hopefully those reeds make some noticeable power differences. Thanks for tuning in.